Help keep Kinks and Beats Daily ad-free and receive bonus content early with a contribution of 20 cents per episode. Visit herohabit.com/shop for more information. Welcome to Kinks and Beats Daily. I'm your host, Tony Fry. This is episode 156, and I thank you for downloading yet again. Make sure you swing by iTunes if you're enjoying this podcast and leave a 5-star rating and review so that we can keep getting new listeners. You know, the more positive reviews we get over there and the more subscribers, the higher we start getting suggested to other people who might like this podcast. Also, make sure to join our new Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Kinks and Beats, where we are having, we've started a set of polls to determine what we think the best Beatles song is and what the best Kinks song is. And I'm putting up an album, bracket style, putting up an album. You vote on all the songs that you think are great songs, not your favorite songs, not pretty good songs, but the cream of the crop. And you can vote for as many as you want. And then the top 3 songs for each album will go on to the next bracket. So we should have fun there, but we need a lot of listeners there to make the poll interesting. So join us. Today we're talking about The Empty Room by Ray Davies, which was released June 29th, 2018 on his album Our Country, Americana Act 2, I'm sorry. 2018, fairly recent. This is his most recent solo album. And as the name would suggest, Americana Act 2, it is a companion piece to Act 1, which came out a year or two before that. I forget exactly. I think this song is possibly the best example of Ray's love of American Southern music, roots music, and probably boosted by his band, the Jayhawks, and their ability to mix American roots styles, their mix of country and jazz and early rock and blues. All these things really informed their sound, and they brought it in on the recording of this album in general, but really of this track. Overall, I enjoy this album more than the first act. I could do without Ray's spoken word interludes throughout. I get why he does it. It's just not my cup of tea. But the songs seem stronger on this collection, and the band sounds good and all that. And with this track, I think he's really mastering the sound that I think he was going for with Muswell Hillbillies, the album. And this could be a sister song in a lot of ways to something like Holiday, with its jazz-influenced chord changes and its horns and its lazy delivery and its super laid-back groove. It's like a more authentic version of what that song tried to be. Not to diminish Muswell Hillbillies, one of my all-time favorite albums by any artist. But I think having the Jayhawks as his backing band and having a little bit more experience over the years of hearing that New Orleans sound and everything really informed his songwriting. And I think he really nails it with this track. I think the earlier stuff that he did, like Holiday, which I mentioned, is still informed by, you know, the records he listened to from America and a little bit of the British music hall and vaudeville scene. And this one kind of strips the vaudeville side of it out and gives a more authentically jazz kind of feel to it. It's cool. The song swings, although very slowly, and could easily fit in with any barroom set along Bourbon Street. You know, if you played this song in New Orleans, in the French Quarter, I think it would fit alongside anything else that, you know, any of the standards that you would sing as one of those. And it's a cool example of the dichotomy that is Raymond Douglas Davies, because in his 20s, he sang about holding on to the past, preserving the old ways from being abused. So much of his output in his 20s and 30s was about keeping your eye, was nostalgia and hanging on to your past and keeping your eye on where you came from. And now in his 70s, I think he was 73 or 74 when this album came out, or maybe a little younger than that. Now in his 70s, he's singing about keeping your eye ahead of you, dumping the old nostalgia completely. Which is funny because, usually it's the other way around. So the man who sang God Bless Vaudeville when he was 25 is now singing The Past Belongs to Those Possessions, Obligations, and the Ties forced on him so long ago. Now he's waving them goodbye. And it's really the opposite of what most songwriters of his generations, who have by now all released a song or two about their past, a nostalgic look at their youths, or a straight up album of covers they loved when they were kids. Whether it's Clapton's blues albums, the Rolling Stones' recent blues album, McCartney's, he's got two albums of covers, one of early rock and one of old jazz standards. Rod Stewart's got a bunch of jazz standards. All these guys that were coming up around his time are going back to their youth from a lot of times from before they were rock stars and, interpreting those songs. And Ray, who spent his entire youth embracing that pre-rock star influence that he had, is now going back and saying, forget it. It's not good. The past belongs to those possessions, obligations, and the ties. It's a great line. There's a lot of good lines in this song. In fact, maybe my favorite track on this album. And there's a lot of good songs on this album. I've been a loud supporter of Ray's solo albums for the most part. And the fact that he's still churning out such high quality music with something new to say 50 years into his musical career is a testament to his talents. And I encourage you to go listen to this song and go listen to the album. He is delivering a narrative, and sometimes the spoken word stuff, it's not something I want to hear pop up when I'm playing, just random Ray Davies songs. But in the context of the album, he does have something to say there. But like I said, the fact that he's changed what he has been saying, that all of a sudden nostalgia is a burden instead of something that we should all be holding on to, is a very different thing to hear from, this songwriter we've been listening to for 60 years now. So it's a good tune. There's not much to talk about musically. It's using a lot of standard jazz and blues turnarounds and chord progressions. I think his vocal delivery on this is really cool. Like I said, it's very lazy and kind of floats on top of the band arrangement, and it's a great arrangement too. This is a really cool song, and I would encourage everyone to go listen to it. The Empty Room by Ray Davies. You can find it on the Spotify playlist, or on YouTube, I guess. So what do you think about this track, this album? Let me know. You can always call me at 925-494-1739 and leave me a voicemail. Or you can email me, kinksandbeats@herohabit.com. Or like I said, you can join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/kinksandbeats. If you go to herohabit.com, you can find all the information you need about this podcast. All right. Thanks for downloading. If you downloaded our episode about She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, I accidentally posted the same audio from a previous show. I accidentally posted Shepherds of This Nation twice. That has been corrected. So you should be able to go download now the actual She Came In Through the Bathroom Window episode. And I hope you all do. All right. I will talk to you guys next time. Have a great day. This podcast is presented by the Hero Habit Podcast Network. Swing by HeroHabit.com today to comment on this episode and poke around our growing database of sports and pop culture news, reviews, and collectibles. HeroHabit.com. Collect your heroes.